Please.
Please be comfortable. So we have exactly 6 chairs.
6 years.
चलिए
Social.
आ जाइए. आप कुछ सेक्रेटरी साहब यू want to say something? Thank you very much. Welcome to the meeting.
Sir, with your permission.
Yes.
Honorable Governor and Chancellor, sir, dear Vice Chancellors, today we have assembled here to have an insightful account from Honorable Governor and Chancellor on dowry and domestic violence and measures to snuff out this menace. We know that occurrence of such unsettling instances is not a good omen, not only for the girls alone, but for the future of our society and nations as well. You know that positive initiative taken by our Honorable Governor, sir, has struck a chord with the society. Many stakeholders are discussing the gravity of this issue. Many brides and grooms have shown encouraging courage, and media too have covered the related news and developments with gravitas. Government have joined the good cause with the masses and have announced many forward-looking steps, including making mandatory for new recruits to submit an undertaking for not giving or taking dowry. To sum up, society has begun to realize that whatever is visible is only the tip of the iceberg, and persistent endeavors have to go on in order to discourage the boastful tendency about this criminal menace. It should become a social taboo rather than a social status. There is need to further instill confidence in the mind of youth to make them feel their spine and to muster courage to say no to dowry unambiguously. After health, education is the most valuable asset. Education that inculcates the spirit of gender equality and thus social justice, which is the part of basic structure of the Constitution of India. The Vice Chancellors being at the helm to shape, mould, guide and transform the future of youth and destiny of the nation can play a vital role in this crusade against the vile practice of dowry and domestic violences. In this regard, Honorable Chancellor has already addressed to you and all MLAs. With these words, sir, I request now Honorable Governor, sir, to address this august gathering and enlighten us regarding to move further in this direction. Sir.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, last some time these tragic events have happened. On 22nd June, the newspapers had reported that this girl Vismaya, who was a fourth-year medical student, Ayurveda, she had committed suicide. And I decided to visit the family. It was really pathetic to see the condition of the parents. And it is these incidents, they become paradoxical in a state like Kerala, where the literacy rate is almost 100%. Kitna hai, Secretary?
Yes, sir.
Almost 100%. And the contribution of women in the economy, in every field of life, is immense. In a state like Kerala, these things happenings, they shock the conscience. So when I came out of the house of the family, the media people were there, and there I said that we need to create, public awareness is already there. Not that in Kerala awareness is there. But this awareness must be taken to a level where we can build social sanctions against those who seek or demand dowry, or even those who accommodate such unfair, illegal demands. How it can happen? It can happen if the lead has to be taken by public representatives, but even the common people, if I see in my neighborhood this kind of marriage being solemnized, I am invited there, I refuse to attend the marriage, that because this is, under the law, is a crime. And I don't want to become party to this criminal activity. So then I appeal to the NGOs, particularly the Gandhian organizations, to take the lead in the matter. In Kerala, there is tremendous voluntary spirit. We have seen on so many occasions. So I said, let people, as far as the laws are concerned, laws are very strong. They are strong to the extent where central government had to write to the state governments to ensure that these laws are not misused. So here it is not a question of absence of strong legal provisions. Even the administrative machinery, the policing, Kerala police, I can say with full confidence that in pursuing or taking action in crimes committed against women, Kerala police is proactive. They are not found wanting. So the law is there, machinery is there, then what is needed? We need to take this public awareness to a higher level so that, as I said earlier, a situation is created where people start looking down upon those who demand or seek dowry. Then one proposal which came, one idea which came to our mind, we were discussing it, was that educational degrees are also used to raise the price of the bridegroom in the marriage market. The education, vidya means, education should create discernment. It should give us a sense of right and wrong. We, as a society, we cannot allow these degrees, educational degrees, to be used for nefarious purposes. Therefore, I thought that we will put this proposal before the Vice Chancellors, that before degree is given, then the candidate who is to receive the degree, he must be asked to sign a bond saying that I shall not give or demand dowry. When we were in Cochin, because I was traveling to Cochin, so we had decided that the Vice Chancellors of that region we will meet in Cochin, and Vice Chancellors of this region we will meet in Trivandrum. In Cochin, when we were discussing these things, the proposal came from the Vice Chancellors that why only the candidates who are going to receive the degree, but at the time of the admission, because at that time the parents are more anxious and more concerned. So parents can also be asked at the time of the admission that this degree shall not be used for demanding dowry. This proposal came from the Vice Chancellors in Kochi. And since I had appealed to NGOs, particularly to the Gandhian organizations, to take lead in the matter, the Gandhians in Trivandrum, they decided to observe one-day fast on 14th of January, or 14th of July. I also joined them, and they held a prayer meeting in the afternoon at Gandhi Bhavan. And next day we had travelled to Cochin, where we had this Vice Chancellor's meeting. But I was so happy to see next day that a couple in LAP, the bridegroom himself, when the bride decked in jewelry came to the stage, then the bridegroom himself stood up and said that I have come to marry this girl and I don't want this jewelry. And marriage will be solemnized only when you remove this jewelry. And the jewelry was removed. Then I have received some letters from people, from individuals in Trivandrum. They have also sent the photographs that the marriage of my son was solemnized on this date after 14th, in last 1 week. And we made it clear that we will not accept any dowry. And more than that, I mean, this is the response at the level of the individuals and the public. But at the level of the government on 15th itself, government decided to post a dowry prohibition officer in every district of Kerala. And then now they have come forward, they have already issued the directive.
Yes.
They have already issued the directive that every government employee will have to submit an affidavit for not giving and taking dowry, and also where some gifts have been exchanged, then they must be properly documented, countersigned by the in-laws, parents of the bridegroom. So government is also very proactive. So, but because you are in charge of the youngsters, and they grow up in the universities in these formative years. So I feel that not merely a bond at the time of the admission and at the time while they are receiving degree, but also in between. We need to create that, we need to appeal to the conscience, and we need to create, this is the letter. You must have received this letter?
Yes.
Have you received this letter?
Yes,
so,
along with the declaration format.
Along with the declaration format. But now you will have to have two declarations. One at the time of admission and other at the time of receiving the degree. So basically my point is that we are fortunate in Kerala that we are a literate society, 100%. We have a government who have during last 1 week taken one decision after another, and that certainly has created an impact in the society. But as heads of the universities, I feel you have a very special responsibility in creating a mindset which refuses to accept the prevalent practice of dowry. And this is a time Kerala can really, because I know from my own personal experience and knowledge that the situation in Kerala, although even if one single life is lost, it is a tragedy. But Kerala is still, the situation is much better than many other states, particularly in the north, where the victims do not come to complain, and even if they come to complain, then many a times cognizance is not taken of their complaints, and they have to run from one place to another place. So Kerala situation is much better. Now, this Kerala can become leader in this matter, because I have already started receiving calls from some other colleagues and friends asking me to send the details, the action which we are taking in Kerala. So if you come with some I leave it to you, and I'm not asking you to give your proposals right now. Whatever you have in your mind, you can share with us. But please think about it. What innovative methods can be adopted to create an environment where seeking dowry carries with it social stigma? And this fear of social stigma deters people, those who indulge in this practice. So I leave it to you. The main purpose of calling this meeting is to have your suggestions and your ideas on this subject, and also that not just today, but even later, if you have some new idea which you think can be effectively used to create this awareness, then please share that idea, so that same thing can be done in other universities as well. So I would request you to share your views on this subject with us.
Vice Chancellor said the benefit of the deliberation which occurred on 16th also. We have circulated.
You have circulated?
Yes.
Good.
Whatever was presented by other
Yeah,
people,
good.
now they listen.
Good.
So they have the background.
So whatever your response to this discussion, whatever you might have thought yourself, how we can tackle this menace? Please. Please. Yes, please. Oh, Shri Narayan Guru Digital.
Yes, sir. No, I'm really excited to see that.
Sorry, Mubarak sir. Another positive thing is that fortunately the religious leaders have also started raising their voice. I had gone to Varkala, and Swamiji assured me, I requested him to convene a meeting of the religious leaders of Kerala, and not necessarily clergy, the religious scholars. He assured me that he will do so. Palayam Mosque Imam, in his address on the day of Eid, he made a very strong appeal, and he said now the time has come to shun this practice totally. Then 29th religious leaders, some religious leaders are coming to Raj Bhavan. So they are also, fortunately, support is coming from every section of the society. But I am keen that vice chancellors should take lead, and particularly I have told the vice chancellor of the medical university, and I want to say it to you as vice chancellor of the technical university, because with these degrees, the complaints against these degree holders are much more than complaints against other degree holders. So you will have to take special steps to disabuse the mind of these youngsters, who, not everyone is like that, but some of them who have this thing in their mind that they can use their degrees to extract price from the family of the bride. Please, now.
I'm really enthused to see the Chancellor of my university is taking the lead of a social issue, and really I feel honored and also excited to give it to you to address this issue. But sir, you have made it very clear that it is not the law, legalization is going to matter. What matters is that sensitizing the society.
Absolutely.
At different levels, right from the parents to the children, or from the children to the parents. So sensitizing, it involves a lot of involvement, emotional involvement of every stakeholder of the university. So what we thought was, as a kind of idea that I'm going to share with you, to sensitize a social issue, the best thing is to use the literature that you are going to produce to the students. So we have decided, we have a compulsory module on humanism, which should be part of every curriculum. So we are going to include this issue in one of the academic modules of a compulsory module of the university, so that any student who completes the degree, he will understand the details of this social issue, rather than asking him to. We will ask him to sign the board, and we will ask him to give a pledge. But it's not going to matter, sir. What matters is he should emotionally be ready to accept the ideological impact of your position, for which sensitizing is more important. It should be made part of the curriculum. So, and there are many social issues which are made part of the curriculum, but for our university, we have a compulsory module, so we are going to make it part of it. It is on humanism. So basically, this is only a chance in history. Humanism basically addressed this issue. When you preach the lessons of peace and the progress, ultimately you are talking about your social injustice. So instantly, I can feel that the beauty of accident as a chance with your position and the university's desire. So it is going to be injected into the academic program. So this is what we can do. Apart from that affidavit, we'll go by the affidavit. We'll make sure that the student and the parents, both of them will give the affidavit. But apart from that, if you make it part of the academic module, it will have an unending dialogue between the student and the content, so that it will get into his heart and the way. So this is exactly what I think, as the Vice Chancellor of Open University, what I can do for that. So I think that is the most important point. I hope the rest of the people will come. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, I have one point to add, sir. Yes, there is a very good point about this accounting module, sir. Presently, sir, for state government offices and I think university staffs also, sir, they also have a training program, sir, for teachers.
Yes.
So in that training, refresher course and induction courses, you can have this kind of module.
Yes. We are having some programs in certain
all universities
programs.
These are UGC-sponsored programs, sir.
Yeah, we are going to make it
And
compulsory.
they have an academic staff training college. What do you call it?
Academic staff.
College. And sir, for state government also, sir, IMG is having various kind of training programs. Institute of Management in Government, sir. That is a staff training institute for the government employees, sir. So we can also request IMG to have this kind of module for the state government offices at all levels. So they will be sensitized about this kind of issues, sir. What are the
So
legal
the state government has already taken the decision. If you want to give them a better drafted thing, I think they will have no problem, because they are very keen on it.
At grassroots level, sir, or at cutting edge level, Mr. Jaykumar, sir, the former chief secretary,
Yeah.
is the in charge of IMG, sir.
Acha, he is the in charge. And secondly, some people are raising this question that legally it is not possible to withdraw the deal. Don't worry about that. Don't pay any attention to that, because I have given there one example. When Mr. T.N. Session became Chief Election Commissioner, he framed new rules. And he was very strict as far as the enforcement of these new rules was concerned. But so far, you won't find a single candidate having been debarred for violating the rules. Why? Because law is not there. Don't bother about the law. But because generally public opinion was against the irregularities which were being committed during the election. Mr. Session was able to enforce it, and 90% of the irregularities and malpractices which happened during the election campaign, they have come to an end even without a law. But here, dowry is clearly, patently, obviously is a crime. Therefore, any person who indulges in it can be not only committing, is committing a crime, but from your angle, he can be held guilty of moral delinquency. And we can propose to take action. But I hope we never come to that stage. All these steps together will, the cumulative effect will be that people will, they will start behaving properly. Let this fear, the fear should also be there. That university, I am signing the bond, university can take action against me. That fear should also be there. Yes, yes. Will you please?
First of all, I would like to express our deep appreciation to the Honorable Chancellor for intervening at the right occasion in the fight against the social ills of dowry and domestic violence. I discussed this matter with our statutory officers and city defenders, and they were all ready to join hands in fight against the social malady and interested and ensure full support in formulating convenient strategy to spread the message against dowry and domestic violence among students. And we will discuss this matter further and will formulate action plans without delay. Some of the activities we can, right now, we can engage is conduct awareness programs in each colleges affiliated to our university. Using our national service scheme, there is a very powerful organization through which we can do a lot of things. The students could engage in various activities like small lecture sessions, poster presentations, essay competitions, and conduct of street plays related to the theme of dowry, death, and domestic violence. University has a 3-tier induction program in our career campus. During this induction program, we will have some student sensitization program against this dowry, anti-dowry activities. And recently, government has suggested forming a social justice forum in university. We will definitely have one in our university, and also we will instruct our university colleges to have such a forums. And women's clubs in various colleges will be directed to come forward to create awareness among the girl students regarding social dignity of women. And they could also organize training programs and workshops for girl students. As sir mentioned, we have an academic staff college, and through that we are training the college teachers, and we will include some modules for their training through academic staff college, and also university has a regular training programs for our employees. In that also we will include 1 or 2 sessions for this anti-dowry activity. And University of Kerala has a Center of Performing and Visual Arts, which has been organizing Wagon Theatre every year. And in the performance will be held in all colleges affiliated to the university. During the last 2 years, the Wagon Theatre performed 2 plays, one on Srinarayana Guru Darshanam, and last year it was on Mahatma Iyengar. And this year we will produce a Wagon Theatre in which that will be against this anti-dowry activity. And this will be, and for 1 year this travelling theatre will go to different places in all the colleges, and so that this message will be conveyed to them. And apart from that, mentioned programs, university will also consider the suggestions of the Honorable Chancellor, demanding a bond from each student to the effect then he that he or she will not be accepted or give a dowry from students who complete their degree after further deliberations and discussion. And as suggested by the earlier Vice Chancellors, we can take an undertaking from the students and also from the parents at the time of admission also. And now the marriages are very luxury, and we have to sensitize people
You are right.
to reduce the cost of the marriage. We have to make the marriages luxury, and that also should be done. And the women should be educated to be strong and independent, and they should be educated legally to access and use laws for their advantages. And some other programs also we can
You
plan.
can think of, it is not necessary that everything should be spelled out today itself, but if some new ideas come to you, please share them with us so that other universities can also be requested to undertake those programs. Please.
I think in universities even this kind of discussion can be held among the faculties at the department level, HODs and
Tomorrow we
small,
are having.
so that will be a small and compact forum where some solutions, HODs, professors, in their own sociology department, history department like this, they can discuss.
Tomorrow we are holding one of the principals meetings of the affiliated college. Definitely I will raise this
And
issue.
the research guide of your universities can be persuaded to
Definitely.
persuade or request students to or suggest topics on particularly sociology department.
Right.
And in your in-house journals also occasionally you can include chapters on this sensitization and
Okay.
legal framework on dowry in domestic violence.
Yes, please.
So, I'm Saji Gopinath, Digital University. So it's an honor to be a part of this. I believe that Kerala has, in the past, has done several social transformation
Sure.
projects. And I think at this point of time, we've taken a great initiative to social manners, which I think we have kept under the carpet for very long. And I believe that this may be a momentous occasion where collective effort of all of us can actually make a change. So as you rightly point out, we need to make it as a social sensitization program, and in the campuses as well as outside the campuses. In the campuses, we have done something similar to this in the past, which is against the ragging. There is a very structured program which is happening in all the campuses under the guidance of UGC and other regulatory bodies. Maybe we should start one similar to that, where continuous campaign against dowry as well as domestic violence has to be done. But I have another point to bring to your notice that when we speak about fighting this, unfortunately in our campuses there is an implicit discrimination already happening against girls.
Against?
There is against the girls.
Okay.
Specifically, if you look at the working hours which you allow for a boy or a girl, the number of the allowance which you take allow them to enter into a hostel. All these are actually different for boys and girls.
Acha?
Yes, most of the campuses. You force girls to get into a camp in the hostels very early, while boys will be allowed much later. So there is an implicit discrimination which is reduced, but it is happening. So this is an area where I think as universities, as colleges, we need to start doing it. Because many times the girls are not given the full privilege what the boy is given. So that is an area where we need to start addressing. As a digital university, being a unitary university, having a campus, this is easy for us to implement. Because we have said that within the campus there is no restriction between the girls and the boys. But that may not be the case across the higher education institutions. So this actually sends a message over the period that there is some level of a discrimination. That is something I think we may have to address as a collective into the higher education system. The other thing which I would like to add.
I would request you to send a note about it.
Sure, sir.
Yes.
The other thing which I believe that which you have rightly pointed out is about the affidavit which they have to sign at the time of starting as well as when they are getting graduated. Now, this point of time, we will be able to do this and even be able to enforce it. Because we know that today every degree has to go into the National Academic Depository. So it's possible for us to say that if the honor code is violated at any point of time, it's possible that the degree can be withdrawn.
Yes.
Not only by the university, but across the whole people who are using it will be able to know about that. So maybe as a first step, it could be that in an NAD, if a negative certificate is being given, maybe if the person is conducting a domestic violence or something like that. So the digital infrastructure of the country now allows us to implement this in a very effective manner as such. Maybe as a policy level, if you take a decision like that, that can actually be a major deterrent for this menace as such. So the campaigns at different levels, empowering the girls to make sure that they actually come out more stronger. And in this point of time, sir, you have made a very important point saying that Kerala has got a high level of literacy. Specifically with respect to the higher education, the girls' participation is actually higher, generally
Much higher.
And even in technical education, which is around
Yes.
43% compared to what happens in other part of it.
Other
But
parts.
unfortunately, there is the participation of them in productive activities is still low. And the unemployment rate among the girls are also is low. So I think as education institutions we need to ensure that this also is being taken into account. That how do we actually empower girls to take up economic activities more? They empower themselves both socially and economically, which will also be a part of our larger campaign. So I think some of these aspects, if we start doing it, I'm sure that the way Kerala fought against other major social issues can actually be that success we can bring it here also.
I have no doubt. The manner in which in last 1 week or 10 days, the government of Kerala has responded, the society in Kerala has responded, we should all feel very happy and confident that this movement, this can become a movement and it will be very successful. Government, one after, they have taken decisions. On 15th, yesterday, again, day before yesterday, the response from the people, organizations is highly encouraging. So I have no doubt that we will succeed. But you have a special responsibility as Vice Chancellor, heads of the education institutions. So it is up to you to think what innovative measures inside the campuses can be taken to sensitize the youngsters to stay away from this. You want to say?
Sir, I am Shashi Vidamar from Veterinary University.
From?
Veterinary University.
Veterinary University. Yes, you were not able to come to
Yeah,
coaching.
I
Yes, I know. Your minister was visiting. Yes. Please.
Yes, sir. This dowry menace is a deep-rooted evil in Kerala and all over India. And we all know that this has to be uprooted and we need a land here. Kerala is leading in so many things, and certainly before coming here, I had a meeting with our faculty and the PG students. UG students are not there in the campus. So all of them were appreciating the initiative taken by our Honorable Chancellor for uprooting this evil from the society. And we had a very pretty long discussion, and we pointed out so many suggestions. So of course, so many are dealt here by other vice chancellors as well as even today. So I just read
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The basic thing what all of them were suggesting is to change the mindset of the public mainly. Because even any category of people, they give this money as a gift or a future security or a present and so many things. And even some communities, they are very particular. They used to bargain that is such and such amount has to be, otherwise no. But some girls used to refuse also.
No.
That is also that. Kerala conditions are better, but as rightly mentioned by our secretary, this is only a tip of iceberg which is coming out in our population. So awareness increasing is a must first thing to be done. And already good points have come here. Getting bored from at the time of admission from the students, at the time of receiving the degree from the university, as well as from the parents. not to give or accept for their children. And even I have seen that one university was suggesting to get this blood at the time of appointment also, so that whether married or unmarried,
Yes, yes.
that's important. So let us, this increasing awareness is the first thing. And I'll just read, sir, one is a display of posters at prominent places in campus about the rules and regulations. We have so many rules and regulations here, but it is not being implemented properly, or somehow it is not effective so far regarding anti-dowry and domestic violence. A flood judges, the same can be displayed at the entrance of the colleges, not as a poster, but painter or inscribed, so that it will remain for a long time. Intercollegiate drama, skit play, debate competition on the theme related to anti-dowry and domestic violence. Undertaking a declaration from the passing of students against the social issues as suggested by Honorable Government. Series of seminars, webinars for creating awareness about this by law, psychological, police, medical experts. It will continue a series of such training. This can be part of the Gender Equality and Sensitivity Week, culminating with the National International Women's Day, March 8th. Gender sensitivity and counseling classes can be added as non-credit course for each course, the semester first or second, non-credit course. It can also be added as a part of induction program for new students and counseling classes for passing out. Then classes can be arranged with parents for creating awareness among parents on the day of PTA meeting. Parents' participation will be assured in the webinars arranged for the present season because of the COVID. Then university, some of them were suggesting university can have a slogan like Na Sriratna Samam Jattam. Mandatory exhibition photos, short life stories of great women achievers, warriors, administrators, scientists, freedom fighters, reason and gold at a women's wall in every campus. Some of them were suggesting. Ensure that no dowry is involved in the forthcoming marriages by way of undertaking. We have already reported that. A report on such incidents among society to the concerned authority, if anything comes reporting to the higher ups, such things are happening. Then conduct regular survey among the students and staff to inquire about the domestic violence. Encourage students to prepare short video clips or short films focusing evils of the dowry in the society. Motivate students to arrange organized campaigns, street dramas or like activities depicting the danger of dowry in the society. Arrange quiz competition or similar activities with prizes among the students with the focus theme on the dowry menace in the society to students' union. Mass campaigns can be organized under the leadership of students' union, and all students may be encouraged to take part in such campaigns at the mass pledge for not to accept or give dowry. Then guest lectures can be arranged to students with eminent personalities at college level on different aspects of dowry menace. The parents must sign anti-dowry bond at the time of admission. The students who are going to receive degree must sign a bond. Every year anti-dowry on 26th November, the student, staff, faculty will take oath, not only to receive. Then effective enforcement of the legislation against dowry. Students should be made aware of the two punishable laws, the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, and that prohibits any person who gives or takes dowry, and Domestic Violence Act 2005 that protects women from domestic violence. Anyone found violating the laws should be punished. Students must be inspired, take initiative to the actual abolition by rejecting dowry for the marriage. Besides, girls must be encouraged to take pledge to boycott those boys who ask for the dowry marriage. Then voluntary organization. Students should be encouraged to come forward to form voluntary organization to work for the abolition of the dowry system. The students of these organizations should help the victims of dowry harassment and get them justice. These organizations should be given wide publicity to advertisement so that victims can contact them for their help or justice. These are some of the points that are said by our faculty.
You had suggested some slogan.
No.
What is that?
Na Sriratna Samam Jattam. No, there is no jewel like a woman.
Okay.
Na window पर
Na Sriratna. Jattam, Sriratna.
Same as was in LEP. They said the same thing. The girl is jewel.
Clearly.
The girl is Joel. Yes, yes, yes. Ji.
It has been used by someone else earlier or coined by you only? This slogan? This
The
slogan has been coined by you or?
This has come from faculty. This has come
faculty, they discuss that. That's a very good idea. In fact, if you ask your faculty and hold a meeting with them occasionally, and whenever they want to give some new idea, then they should be taken and pursued further. You want to say something?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
First of all, let me thank you for reminding us of the responsibility, the extended responsibility that we need to exercise in such social menaces. As you pointed out, in Technological University also, the percentage of girl students is more than 40%, and we consistently monitor their academic records, their performance, which is far better compared to the boys. Because the distractions to girl students when they are in their studies is very less, and they set their goals very clearly and then they move forward. And the placement in every aspect, it is like that. But in spite of that, these kind of things are happening because as a society, we make some practices set. Everybody accept the fact that, oh, these are something which we cannot change, and it becomes a practice in spite of the legal provisions,
Yes.
Policing, etc. So that has become norms of the society. That is my experience. And let me also connect it to the other menaces that are happening in the campuses, like the use of alcohol, drugs, etc.
Right.
If we compare these sort of incidents with the culture or the behavioral patterns of people who are involving in this, these two are related. And in this aspect again, in spite of our doing all kinds of efforts like campaigns, celebrating days, then putting slogans, posters, etc., there is a fraction of students who are never coming out of this. And this requires not external measures, but it is inscribing something in your heart. It is sensitizing or internalizing these disciplines in ourselves, each stakeholder of the system. If we tell a section of faculty members of the colleges, they'll say, oh, this is something which we can't change, they have support from there, here, and we accept that and move forward. That becomes a very common practice, and one thing which we have been able to curb to a great extent is ragging, which is happening in the campuses. We have been able to do that because it has been taken at a very different level, and as a society, we have been able to deal with it. So that is, to a great extent, it is under control. But still, there are some incidents in the campuses where this is not being registered because of the lack of care from the people who are directly related to it, like the administrative people, the faculty members, the all, where it is not brought to light and brought to the notice of the police. It is handled at the college institutional level itself. So that again aggravates these kind of incidents. I am relating this to this dowry, curbing dowry, because that is what we need to address. How to internally make people aware of this, and they should also follow these practices. Like Professor Saji pointed out, it is in this case, in ragging case, if you file a case against police, then it becomes a very serious issue, and people will come and try to settle it then and there. That is because the record is there and it is linked to Aadhaar, and then it goes everywhere. So that is also important, how we address this, how we administer it further, so that some permanent way of addressing it is happening, strict way of policing it. That is one thing. And the institutions can, the campaign of the institution, it can be within the institution, and also it can be in the surroundings, the society around those institutions, where they they keep watch on what is happening in the nearby places, and then they report it. Some kind of mechanisms can be evolved around that, where we have the student policing and all. We have some organizations of students who can deal with such issues happening around them in their houses, it will be good. Those are the main things that I want to share. The other things have already been shared. Like we have some courses like the Constitution of India, which is a mandatory non-credit course. It is also possible for universities to include such courses, which will be addressing these kind of social menaces. And we always in engineering curriculum we talk about Industry 4.0, globalization, this, that, global competency, everything. But how these things are related to, how the education is related to the local context is something which we could really look at. There is definitely a gap how the education can be useful and how it can be helpful for others in not only in engineering, in providing engineering solutions, but also in the social problems that's happening around. That is far more distant in professional education such as engineering, which we need to, maybe the holistic education we are talking about in the new policy, the humanities and social sciences, the right mix of contents in that and all will help us, which we will definitely look at.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, but you have a very special role to play because the professional degrees are especially used to demand more dowry. And it is, if there is any violation of the rule, violation of the law, then administrative machinery is there. Even you have disciplinary committees to take action. Here it is question of enforcing the unenforceable. That is to build a mindset. All social evils, they start in the minds of men. So defense should also be built in the mind. My emphasis is not so much on although we are saying that degree can be withdrawn, only to put some fear of God in the mind of the youngsters. But basically, the ideal situation is where we sensitize their minds, where we create public opinion, awareness to a level, where some social stigma comes to be attached to a person who demands dowry. That is the best. Enforcing the unenforceable. And that is where the universities, that is the whole purpose of the university. University is not just to enforce the laws. No, create the minds which refuse to accept what is ugly, what is negative, what is socially should be unacceptable. That mindset has to be created by the university. Law enforcement agencies are there. They will take care of those who will commit crimes. Here question is of making minds. So आपको special.
So this social boycotting, which you are suggesting, social boycotting, it will have a...
No, I'm not suggesting. I'm merely saying once you come to look at something, you look down upon something, then that is reflected in your behavior. I don't want to go to this marriage. Why? Because I know, I have come to know that there has been demand of dowry and they have accommodated it. I don't want to go there.
It has a greater impact.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Suppose if somebody is not having drinks and we decides to boycott that party, since you are having drinks,
I know.
Same. So
Actually, that is much more effective. That is where people accept something voluntarily. That is much more effective than the legal prohibitions.
In fact, I think our campaign should focus on that. That students not only they don't take it or they don't give it, but they should also boycott others who does that.
Yes. So this should be an ongoing process. It is not that today we have this meeting and everything is finalized today. No, you in the university you can organize. I think suggestion has already come. You can organize some essay writing contest, some story writing, some elocution. I won't like you to have debate because for debate you need two sides. You need two sides. So I don't want anybody to speak in favor of dowry. But elocution contest you can have. There are several other, some plays, something like skits, something like that. So this is an ongoing process, continuous process.
Sir, may I add some point?
Please.
Professor Sajid Kumar sir, he has raised the issue of NAD, sir, registering the degrees with the National Academic Depository. I think most of the universities are linked with that since 2017. Now, only thing is to think further. Sir, all degrees are online, sir, NAD. This NAD is under Ministry of Human Resource Development, sir.
Okay.
National Academic Depository. And they charge some fees also per degree. You have joined, I think?
Yes. Almost all universities.
So this issue, this is a continuous issue. We will, if necessary, sometime we can meet up. I can also would like to, sometime when situation improves, COVID restrictions are over, hope so.
And sir, about this non-credit program, sir, you have this program MOOC, MOOC.
Yes, yes.
Under that you can prepare it
Yes,
and you
you
can
can
have
have
an
the
online
model.
course.
Yes.
Online open course, not only for students, for others also.
Yes, why not?
Particularly
Yes.
when some guys they go abroad and also this kind of certificates benefits them.
And so this issue is over.
Sir.
Now, since both the engineering and the technical university both are here, can we do something about holding online examinations?
We already initiated some steps in that.
Because other universities, some universities have already conducted online examinations.
Yeah, we are conducting online.
You are conducting?
Yes, online examination.
Because engineering university examinations, most of the people who...
Some planning, sir, with respect to the infrastructure, because our colleges are spread across the state, 145 colleges, around 30 plus undergraduate programs, 108 postgraduate programs. So the numbers are going to be very high. So planning the infrastructure is, it requires some time for us.
How much time?
In a year we will...
In a year. So we can hope that the next examination will be online?
So every semester there are exams.
Every semester there are examinations. So one more semester offline.
Offline exams. We already talked to...
Can't we expedite it? Because all the people who have come to me, although I said there are students, once it has been postponed, and there are students who say that our 1 year will be wasted if examinations are not held. So I have withstood the pressure. But one thing which they say I find difficult to answer. They say other engineering colleges, other outside Kerala, the engineering universities, they are holding examinations online. So if we can expedite it.
So it's more than the technology issue, it's also the type of exam itself.
Okay.
Because this is to be a proctored exam. And second thing is when they are doing it at their homes. And many times the quality of that is not that great. Some of the exams which we have done along with research is that we do an exam and then we have a small viva to see that whether they have really written that or not.
Okay.
We have found that it's not very effective because students, again, that is another menace. We need to actually sensitize students that the exam is for them.
You are exactly.
In fact, top 25% students are not in favor of online examination also. That is also true.
Acha.
They are protesting because it affects the credibility of their degrees. So that is why, sir, last year this IIT Metros, they are having exam like Jaipur students. They will collect Jaipur students in Jaipur. They will ask them to go to some KV. They have identified one KV, and in the supervision of KV, you write your IIT examination there in Jaipur itself. No need to come to Chennai. Chennai, they have conducted the examination like this.
So that is actually
In neighboring area, neighboring some main station, and in some government institution.
On the same day.
On the same day, all everywhere, sir, they have identified one government institute to have a better credibility. Students will go there, and under the invigilation of the government teachers or government officers, exams will be conducted on the same time. Same day.
ठीक है, all these difficulties are there. I understand these difficulties.
Whereas I think for other IITs it was purely online. With Chennai being the bit conservative and the students were demanding like this, so they went for this kind of model.
The difference there is the course teacher decides how to evaluate the students. And that is a small group of 60 students or 45 students. But here it's not like that. All the colleges we are conducting one common examination.
Okay.
So if we are putting the question papers online and make it available to the students, some part will be cut off because of low internet bandwidth or something like that. And then it spreads through WhatsApp if it is the same question. So it's not something which can be easily handled by us. Even the proctored exams, if we hire...
Acha, any relief for those who, because of COVID...
Yeah, we are conducting one more exam for
One more.
those who are not able to come down from Jammu and Kashmir.
Good.
Mysore,
Then there is... Then
and also
there
who
should
are
be
affected
no...
by COVID.
Then there
That
should be
will
no
not be
problem.
treated as a supplementary chance. It will be the first chance for them, and it will be conducted within their course duration window. It will not
Good.
be delayed.
Then
The
it's
course will
okay.
not be extended.
Then it's
so
okay.
It is addressed in a very student-friendly manner.
So there is a court verdict, Supreme Court verdict regarding this exam. Because there was a case against Chartered Accountants Council, and the Supreme Court has made it very clear that if there is a COVID impact, the institute should give a chance, not as a supplementary. It should be part of the regular.
Regular. Good. Thank you very much. So, chale.